Hi, it's Katie Jarvis with Managing the Mess. In this video, I'm going to give you 10 tips to make your job as an art teacher easier. We're going to jump right in, and the first one, some people are going to think I am so mean, but I do not draw anything for anybody in my building. What I'm talking about is other teachers coming up to me and asking, can you draw an elephant? Can you draw a dog? Well, yes, I can draw those things, and I can teach you how to draw those things. I can tell you where to search to find steps that would show you also how to draw those things. But I am not drawing something for another teacher. I'm not making posters for events. I'm not dealing with other people's emergencies where they need things done by me. So how I do this is if someone comes to me, I'm giving them the tools so that they can do it themselves. And I'm consistently doing this. If you draw an elephant for someone, they're going to show it off to other people. They're going to tell them that the art teacher drew that beautiful elephant, okay? And then you're going to have a line of people out your door asking you to draw elephants. So you do not need to take on their priorities as yours. You have your own things to focus on. Just let those things slide and be known as a person who might be helpful if you go to them, but someone that is not going to do the art jobs for them. Along those lines, I do not run an art store out of my room. If people come and ask for supplies, I explain that these materials are for the art program and the art program only. I will give them directions on where to find it on Amazon or where to find it down the street at Michael's or Walmart, but I'm not giving out supplies, and it's something that makes my job easier. I don't do every event that my school runs. If there's a math night or there's a science night, I don't have to sign up for every little thing. I'm even a parent at my school, and I've set this boundary for myself. As a young teacher, I definitely was signing up and wanted to be involved in each and everything that went on in the school, and it's just not necessary. In fact, there's always going to be new teachers that come in and they can get those people to do it, okay? Everybody has their season when they're involved in everything, but it doesn't have to be that way for you. You can pick one or two events that you help with and you support at your school and check the box, you are good. Don't be like me, who once ran a talent show, was in the talent show, and had an art show for the district and for the entire school, all within, I think, 2 weeks. Don't be that person. Try to be as organized as possible. Make sure that you are planned and prepared so that when your class walks in, you're ready to greet them with a smile and you are ready to roll with materials. This shows them that they are valued. You're going to want to make sure that you're organized throughout your classroom, that you have set up systems that students can see that you are respecting your classroom and you're proud of it, and you're respecting the materials. You have a spot where those erasers go back. You have a place where the pencils always go. Now, if you teach these procedures to your students, they will also learn to respect those materials as well. Being organized really pays off and makes your job as an art teacher easier. There is no feeling worse than going through a giant stack of papers and trying to find some artwork for a class to finish their project while they're sitting there watching you. So having systems in place where you know where artwork is, you know where materials are, really does make things easier in the long run. It might be hard to get things set up and get organized, depending on what you inherit when you get to a new school or whatnot, but it's worth it to put in the time, pull your family in, get that room organized so that things run easier for you day to day. To start my art class each and every week, I go over the art room rules. Each and every time I'm setting up those high expectations, I'm letting learners know what is expected of them, and I'm getting them in that mode that they are ready to work. This helps me because then there are less behavior problems. I structure my year to make my job easier. So at the beginning of the school year, this is when I am really teaching routines. I'm teaching a lot of what behavior expectations are, and I don't jump into the messy stuff right away. In the second and third quarter, like I am in right now, you probably can see a lot of clay and things set up throughout my room. That's when I jump into all of the painting, all of the clay, all of the 3D stuff, All of the crazy messes happen in my second and third quarter. Then in the fourth quarter, my focus is on weaving and sewing, which are really high value projects for students. And I'll find other things that I find that are really interesting and motivational, but not so messy. And I will save those for the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, teachers are expected to do a lot of planning for that next school year. You want to be getting your room cleaned up and in order. You want to be getting those supply orders in. So having a little bit less on your plate as far as the mess in the fourth quarter really helps out and makes my job easier. Over the years, I've gotten away from doing the big school art show. Instead, what I do is I display student artwork from each and every student all of the time. So as soon as we complete those first projects, everybody's artwork goes up in the hallway. I'm lucky at my school that the classroom teachers really let me take over the spaces right outside of their rooms. So I have many, many areas to display. Throughout this school year, just when my time permits in my planning or before or after school, I will go and change out those displays. But there's no pressure. I'm choosing when do I want to do those things, and I'm able to keep up with it in a very manageable way. When I did the school art show, I just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger with it because they are so fun and they are so rewarding. So definitely at some point, give them a try. But I've found that for me, it's better to just always have things up. This is great for me because I don't have to panic when there is, a winter concert. Guess what? I already have artwork up in the hallway. When we have our end of the year fine arts night, I don't have to do anything special because anybody that comes in is always able to enjoy artwork from every student in my school. And it's not something that I have to put in lots and lots of hours, all crunched, usually, at the end of the school year to get ready for that big art show. You can make your job a lot easier by just asking for help when you need it. So if you're having trouble with some particular students, take some time. Don't blame the classroom teacher, but see if you can work with them to come up with some solutions on how to best support that student. Work with your counselors, work with your administrators. If you're overall having a problem with classroom management, ask if you can go and observe another art teacher in your district or in a city nearby. See if you can go watch some other teachers in your classroom teach. At my school, we're responsive classrooms, so I've had the opportunity to go into a couple different morning meetings, and I have learned just by watching that little snippet of the day, some different language to use with students, some different really successful techniques, and I'm only watching maybe for 20 minutes within a day. So it's something that's definitely worth doing. But ask for help, post questions on Facebook, look on things on Instagram, and ask people when you need a little bit of help. Now, this could include asking people to help support when the workload is just too much for you. I know people have art angels or helpers. One school that I was at, we had a cart set up outside of the art room, and anything that we needed returned or anything that we needed help with, we just gave the directions for that job. The helpers even helped us make copies. We'd leave the directions for the jobs on the cart, and then whenever someone was there volunteering and helping, maybe from the PTA or a room parent, they would just check that cart and help us to do things. This was a lifesaver for me. They returned a lot of artwork by putting it into teachers' mailboxes, and it saved me a lot of time. Other times I've had, students come in that are observing from local colleges, and just having those extra hands has been helpful. You can use high school or middle school students that are looking for service hours. Be creative and definitely ask around. There are projects also like Grand involved where older people will come and help out in your classroom. And I think the art room is a great place to get people that are willing to help and willing to make your job just a little bit better. I make the end of the quarter easier by having a ketchup and pickle day. And I'm always talking about this because it is that good. What it is a day at the end of the quarter where you have students catch up on any unfinished assignments, and then they get to be a pickle. Pickles get to pick and choose what they do. So it's some free time for students. You get everything finished up, and at the same time, while my students are finishing things, I am grading things. So my goal is when each class walks out the door that I have their progress reports finished and already submitted for that group. So it's really, really helpful. It saves me a lot of time and makes things a lot easier at the end of the quarter, so I can start focusing on what happens the next quarter. Create some wonderful routines for your classroom and get really good at teaching them. Now, I've got you covered. I have videos about my cleanup routine, how I line up students at the end of the class, and also a video that breaks down how I start art. So go ahead and check those out next. But what I like to do is go really slow at the beginning of the year or when I have new routines and get my students focused on what is needed. So I'm modeling those things. We are practicing those things. And then when I am ready to go fast, when we're ready to jump into painting and clay, I already have their behavior on board. They are already able to run through my procedures and routines with minimal support from me. So it really does make my job easier in the long run. A little bit of work on the front end, making sure that things are taught and set up so that we have an easy, smooth school year. Exercising will make your job as an art teacher easier. If you haven't figured it out yet, this is a really physical job. So working on your strength so you can carry 25-pound boxes of clay without breaking a sweat, and working on your heart health and working even on your balance is really going to help to make your job easier from day to day.